What's up YouTube, Drew here, and today we are at EPCOT to give you an update on everything you need to know that's going to be happening here through the end of the year. Yesterday, Disney just announced some details on the new Disney 100 offerings that will be here at EPCOT, the home of the Disney 100 celebration here at Walt Disney World. And not only is EPCOT going to be the center of all of those Disney 100 offerings, the multi-year transformation of this park is also going to be wrapping up with the Center of World Celebration, Dreamer's Point, and Journey of Water inspired by Moana. So if you want to know everything that you need to know about EPCOT for the rest of this year, this video is for you. Let's get to it.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las cuentas.
Alright, now I'm on the EPCOT monorail to pretty much get a perfect overhead view of everything going on in the park. You can see all the work out in the lagoon for the new nighttime spectacular that's going to be debuting later this year. And you can see the entire center of World Celebration, where Dreamer's Point's going to be, that new Communicore Hall and Communicore Plaza area, and Journey of Water inspired by Moana. So let's head over to EPCOT on the monorail to check everything out. The roughly 2-minute monorail ride around EPCOT offers great views of the entire park and an overview of World Celebration. Several gardens are taking shape around the 5-ring EPCOT logo planter in the center. Disney has said each garden will have its own identity and will change with each festival throughout the year. Don't forget, Dreamer's Point is also in this area behind Spaceship Earth, and while it's hard to see from the monorail, the area around the Walt the Dreamer statue will feature the design of the original Florida project site plans. Communicore Hall will be the new permanent home of Mickey and Friends, and also will offer roughly 8,000 feet of indoor exhibit space. I say indoor because this is Florida and you know where I'm going with that. The 8,000 foot space can be divided into 2 areas, so it's likely that later this year, once it's open, it will be utilized for both the 100th anniversary offerings and Epcot International Festival of the Holidays. Communicore Plaza will feature a garden around a performance stage that can host anywhere from small to large performances. The best and closest views at Journey of Water inspired by Moana show that this attraction is nearly complete, with the final touches being done now before thankfully all of this work wraps up soon.
In fact, the heart of everything we'll be doing in Disney World will be our experimental prototype city of tomorrow. We call it EPCOT, spelled E-P-C-O-T, Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow.
Alright, now we are in EPCOT up here at the Imagination Pavilion, which you can see offers a really good view into all of the construction going on in the park, and I'm certain this will be an even better view once all of this construction is done, and you'll have a great view of that stage and performing area over here at Communicore Plaza. Now, I wanted to come up here obviously to show this area because you can see everything from up here, but also starting in September, like I mentioned earlier, is when the Disney 100 offerings will start here at EPCOT. And one of those offerings is that you're going to be able to meet Mickey and Minnie here at the Imagination Pavilion in their Disney 100 outfits. And the really interesting thing is because this is starting on September 22nd, it has led us to believe that this area over here in World Celebration won't be done until after that, because there's really no point for Disney to start hosting a meet and greet over here at the Imagination Pavilion when Communicore Hall over here is eventually going to be the main meet and greet area for Mickey and Friends. So Disney didn't confirm it, but they kind of did confirm it by starting that meet and greet over here on September 22nd. That means this area is probably not going to be done until late October, if not later into the year. Another reason why that September 22nd date is so interesting is because Disney likes doing things on October 1st for a few reasons. Number one, October 1st is Epcot's birthday, so logically it makes sense for them to want to promote new things, experiences, and attractions on October 1st for that reason. And number two, October 1st is also the start of Disney's new fiscal year. So from a business perspective, it makes more sense for them to offer these new things at the beginning of that new fiscal year on October 1st. And with that meet and greet being hosted at the Imagination Pavilion starting on September 22nd, like I mentioned, it wouldn't really make sense for them to start it over here and then move it over to the Communicore Hall and Plaza a week later. Doesn't really make sense. So chances are the center of World Celebration over here and everything could open on October 16th, which is the day of the Walt Disney Company being founded, the 100th anniversary date itself, or later into the year as we move into Thanksgiving and the holidays. When I saw that Parks blog article yesterday announcing some of the details for the 100th later this year, at first glance I was hoping for, you know, maybe an opening date for Journey of Water inspired by Moana, or a completion month or something for the Center of World Celebration. But then I did remember that later this year, from September 8th through 10th, at Disney's Contemporary Resort, we will have Destination D23. And while I'm not expecting a ton of announcements on the scale of D23 Expo that we normally get, Destination D23 is the perfect spot for Disney to announce some of those smaller things like Moana and World Celebration, you know, maybe when we're gonna get that new EPCOT Nighttime Spectacular later this year. So definitely keep an eye on Destination D later this year. I will be there covering it, so stay tuned for that. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. In that Disney Parks blog article that Disney released talking about some of those Disney 100 offerings coming to EPCOT later this year, besides the Mickey and Minnie meet and greet up here at the Imagination Pavilion, one thing I am very much looking forward to is the new Spaceship Earth Points of Light sequence with a special Disney 100 rendition of When You Wish Upon a Star. Disney always does a fantastic job with those Points of Light sequences, so glad to see they will be doing another offering for the 100th. And we also know that you cannot have a Disney celebration without some decor and banners, and thankfully, once all this is done, all of that will be there. So just like Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary with all the food and banners, we're getting that at EPCOT on a smaller scale, but still getting it regardless for Disney 100.
Oh, hello there. So glad you could come along. I am the Dream Finder.
As I've been standing up here at the Imagination Pavilion, I'm realizing there's a lot more things that are connected to this pavilion happening later this year than I remembered, because I just remembered that the Figment meet and greet is also returning to EPCOT later this summer. That was first announced by Disney Parks Experiences and Products Chairman Josh D'Amaro at D23 Expo last year, and now this summer that meet and greet will be returning. So another thing that we'll have to keep an eye on as everything wraps up, but don't forget, Figment later this summer. And thankfully, cast member previews for salaried cast members is starting soon over at Journey of Water, inspired by Moana, on July 25th. So depending on when you're watching this video, we might already have some first impressions out from Journey of Water. It's not going to be anything groundbreaking, but I will say I am looking forward to having a more simple walkthrough experience here at EPCOT. We are always constantly caught up on what's new and roller coasters and these big fancy things, whereas going back to a simple concept with a popular character like Moana is going to be awesome for the park, and it fits perfectly over in World Nature right next to the Seas and Land Pavilion. So looking forward to checking it out later this year, but construction is pretty much done at this point, as we have those previews starting soon.
The last thing I want to highlight at EPCOT right now, and something that has gone very under the radar, are the updates to Connections Cafe, where new bakery signage was put up in June. Baumkuhin, a cake that originates from Germany and is also very popular in Japan, translates to treat cake in English. Connections Cafe is currently home to a Baumkuhin rotisserie oven, which was custom built in Germany and is currently one of few in the United States. There is also a beautiful Baumkuhin treat cake made by EPCOT cast members on display that is topped with a shiny golden butterfly. Make sure to visit Connections Cafe on your next visit to EPCOT to try Baumkuhin, where you can even see cast members make this worldwide treat in the kitchen itself. A perfect treat for EPCOT and World Showcase.
Alright, that is going to do it for this EPCOT update. Everything you need to know about EPCOT for the rest of the year. There is definitely a lot going on at EPCOT, and well, the original overhaul we were promised was scaled back drastically due to COVID and lots of other reasons. It's still going to be nice to have those construction walls gone soon regardless. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.